Shedeur is a great kid, and whether it's a following that he's earned, I mean, that's something that he's done a great job of interacting with fans. But he is a great
developing situation as Cleveland Browns training camp is now open. Shedeur Sanders has officially become the favorite, and not just at the starting quarterback position. As we first take a look at this. As ESPN Cleveland reports, Browns quarterbacks and rookies have reported to training camp today. Football is back, and so is Shedeur, who skipped the ESPYs to help families after a deadly apartment explosion in Cleveland. Yeah, and
breaking. The Browns coach just flinched. And yep, he finally said what fans have been yelling for weeks. Shedeur Sanders isn't just ready. He's running the show like a seasoned vet. From threading needles to silencing sideline noise, Shedeur's cooking up something serious in Cleveland. And whatever just went down at camp, it's got the coach sweating like it's 4th and goal with everything on the line. The quote? Wild. The vibe? Rookie takeover incoming. Let's break down what the coach finally admitted.
Did one of the two look better to you in what they were asked to do than the other?
In just throwing the ball, it's not close, Shedeur Sanders.
It's not close.
But let me couch that by saying this is rookie minicamp.
Sure.
No pads, no full speed competition. Nobody coming to knock your head off.
It's telling. They're side by side, and they're not asked to do much, but they're both asked to do the same thing, and that one of them looked discernibly better than the other. I didn't know that we would get that out of this minicamp.
We're standing here, Jay. They're on the field. They break the huddle from team stretch, and they go both pick up the ball and throw it. It's no question.
Cleveland's bracing for a quarterback quake, and it's all Shedeur Sanders. Training camp just became his playground. He's not just impressing, he's dismantling every old scouting report that dared label him a project. From the first snap, it was different. He stepped on that field like it was already his. Coaches froze. Vets took notice. Even the water boys stopped mid-run. He's breaking ankles, breaking norms, and breaking into the league with a presence you can't coach. Something shifted in Cleveland, and this time, nobody's laughing. Not even the critics.
Rookie Shedeur Sanders isn't afraid to work. They report that while camp opens today, Shedeur Sanders is already putting in work, as he was on this high school field earlier this week. Notice he's the only one in helmet and pads, Shedeur getting reps ahead of training camp opening. Yeah, and remember, it will absolutely be a battle for the starting job in an absolutely ridiculously crowded Browns QB room. As of today, the Browns quarterback room remains Deshaun Watson, Kenny Pickett, Joe Flacco, Dylan Gabriel, and of course,
the Browns coach, who's been dodging questions like they came with subpoenas, finally cracked. After weeks of pretending Shedeur Sanders was just another name on the roster, the truth slipped out like steam from a pressure valve. And that truth? Shedeur's not waiting his turn. He's not a backup. He's not learning the ropes. He's already leading, loudly, confidently, and worst of all for the doubters, effectively. The act is over. The coach blinked. And Shedeur, he's just getting started.
More. He's working like crazy, just like all the guys. You know, my office is downstairs. As they got to walk by my office as they come in. They come in early. And Shedeur, just like all those guys, he's in there early. He's getting his work done. So he's working really, really hard. I like everything there is about Shedeur.
Forget the draft day drama. Forget the tired takes and cookie cutter critiques. Shedeur Sanders showed up with smoke. And it's real. He's dissecting defenses like a seasoned vet on a mission, zipping passes into windows so tight you'd swear the ball was remote controlled. And his footwork? Pure poetry. Light as air while the rest move like they've got cinder blocks strapped on. This isn't something you drill. It's not taught. It's instinct, presence, and precision rolled into one. You either have it, or you're just standing there, watching greatness unfold.
At training camp for the Cleveland Browns, and I'm telling you right now, Shedeur Sanders will be QB1. Well, there's a report out there of a CBS analyst, and he has some things to say on how this quarterback room gonna shape out. When I look at the quarterback room with Joe Flacco, with Kenny Pickett, and along with Dylan Gabriel, along with also Shedeur Sanders, the head coach, Kevin Stefanski, is looking at two quarterbacks, a starter and a bag-up quarterback. Well,
And now, with the coach letting the cat and the playbook out of the bag, the entire NFL has a new problem. Because once that admission slipped, the floodgates opened. You could see it in the team's body language. They're rallying around him. Not because they have to, because they want to. That's leadership you can't manufacture. Locker room whispers? Now full-blown praise. Those talk show hosts with hot takes about him being unproven? Dead silent. Shedeur's not just proving he belongs, he's threatening to take over. And the scariest part? He's only getting started. So whether the league's ready or not, Shedeur Sanders is done playing it cool. He's not here to blend in. He's here to take the Browns and the NFL by storm. Hope they packed umbrellas. Let's talk about the training camp footage, shall we? Because you can't hide what the cameras caught. This wasn't some rookie with happy feet, scrambling around like a squirrel in a Red Bull ad. This was controlled chaos, precision passes, audible changes like he's reading minds. Receivers aren't just catching balls, they're catching blessings. The Browns staff tried to play it cool, pretend like this was all part of the plan. 5th-round developmental guy, no pressure, let him sit a year. Sure, right.
He's thinking of this more long term. He's thinking of it being more comfortable in his skin, coming out being like, hey, look, I'm gonna work on my game. I could be doing a lot of other things right now. I could be running around drag racing or doing whatever I need to do, or being in, buying clothes or something. But a couple of days before we're ready to lock and load, I think it's dope that he out there in the middle of the night in the rain, throwing the football, working on his game with the Browns helmet on, letting people know I'm out here representing for the whole city. I'm representing. I like the fact that he's energetically proud to have the Browns helmet on.
Because when your other quarterbacks are looking like human fidget spinners under pressure, you really want to keep the guy with actual pocket presence glued to the bench. And let's not even talk about the fans. Cleveland isn't exactly known for their patience when it comes to quarterbacks. They've had more quarterback starters than a reality dating show has contestants. And every single one came with hype, drama, and heartbreak. So now, when they see someone who actually looks like he knows what he's doing out there, they notice. Instantly. But let's zoom out a little. Because this story isn't just about a quarterback playing well. It's about a franchise slowly realizing that the guy they drafted for vibes might just be their best shot at competence. Shedeur isn't playing like a rookie. He's running that offense like it's a tech startup, and he's the CEO who also writes code. He's making pre-snap reads, directing receivers, dodging defenders like he's allergic to sacks, and delivering throws with a kind of swagger that you just can't teach. He's out there turning drills into auditions and reps into statements.
To me personally, I think he's watching Shedeur's fans. They want Shedeur to be that starting quarterback, but Shedeur gonna have to show them when them pads come on. Oh yeah, during them inter-squad scrimmage and the preseason game, can they trust him, or will Shedeur give them anything for him not to trust? Well, what you mean by that, Big Watts? Can he trust? They want to know, do Shedeur know that playbook? That's what it comes down to.
And while the coaching staff tries to keep a straight face, the rest of the league is quietly starting to panic. Because what do you do when a so-called project starts looking like your future? You can't bench that. You shouldn't bench that. Shedeur is making the Browns' usual wait-and-see routine look like a bad improv skit. Now training camp has turned into a live-action reality check. Every throw he makes is another nail in the coffin for the "let him develop slowly" narrative. And unless you enjoy watching chaos from the sidelines, it's probably time to admit what everyone else already knows. Shedeur Sanders is ready, and Cleveland better not blow it. Again. All the 5th-round smoke and mirrors, gone. You can only pretend for so long before the on-field product exposes you. And boy, did Shedeur expose some folks. Like that one assistant coach who swore up and down that he just needed to learn the speed of the NFL. Guess what? He learned it. In a week, maybe 2. And the team? You could see it. Veterans dapping him up after plays. Linemen giving that extra half second of protection. Receivers running cleaner routes. That's not luck. That's leadership. That's respect.
According to Mary Kay Cabot, she does think when camp starts today that he has a legitimate shot to be the starting quarterback. So in my life, kind of being around the NFL, 30 years of doing this talk show stuff, covering the NFL, having sources and reporting on it, I don't think there's ever been a player where there's a wider variance of opinion between the media and NFL executives. The media, myself included, saw him as a B prospect, a good solid in a very, very weak quarterback draft class, certainly arguable first-round prospect, maybe a second, third-round talent, but you know, solid, good family DNA, moved well, historically accurate, good kid, not a bad kid.
And it doesn't come from a name, it comes from production. Now, let's get into the real meat of this circus. Because while everyone is patting themselves on the back for finally acknowledging what's been painfully obvious, let's not forget how we got here. There was a very real attempt to downplay this kid. 5th round tag, remember? That's NFL code for don't expect much, and if he turns into something, we'll pretend we always believed. Classic hedging. Protect the ego. Blame the pick later if it flames out. He's right there with the rest of them. Translation. We've been caught sleeping. And you know who else got caught? The front office. Because they tried to push a narrative that now looks more outdated than dial-up internet. 5th round pick, late bloomer, needs seasoning.
I'll keep saying it. I believe Shedeur Sanders should play more games than any other quarterback on this roster this year because he's the only guy that I look at and say they might have something here. Because I'm telling you right now, they left night 1 of the draft saying we are taking our quarterback next year. So it's on Shedeur or Dylan or Kenny, probably not Joe,
to change their mind.
To change their mind.
But you got to find out. You got to find out. I think you have to find
Meanwhile, Shedeur is out here looking like he microwaved the playbook and digested it overnight. So now we're in damage control. The coach suddenly finds religion. The front office starts leaking anonymous praise. And all those critics who were tripping over themselves to call him a media distraction are suddenly brushing up on their apologies. But let's be honest here. This didn't happen overnight. Shedeur didn't just wake up with NFL awareness and footwork. He's been preparing for this moment, grinding while everyone else was trying to fit him into a box. And now that he's broken out, if you're Cleveland, you're not a franchise that gets to sit on lottery tickets. You're not a team with the luxury of hiding talent because of optics. You need wins. You need production. You need something, anything, that doesn't involve crying into your nachos by week 8. And here comes Shedeur, practically gift-wrapped, showing up like, hey guys, I fixed your offense.
If I am the head coach, the GM, and the owner of this team, I'm naming Shedeur Sanders my starter today. Today. You know why? Joe Flacco, love you to death. You gave us a good little run. You're a Raven. Kick rocks. Kenny Pickett, you ain't showing us that you that good at all. You here for an insurance policy. Kick rocks.
But here's the catch. You can't keep pretending this is a fluke. Because flukes don't run 3 straight 2-minute drills to perfection. Flukes don't hit tight window throws over the middle with linebackers breathing down their neck. Flukes don't win over a locker room without even trying. You know who does that? Quarterbacks who are ready. Quarterbacks who matter. And here's where the sarcasm kicks in. Because it's hilarious, really, that it took this long. That we had to wade through so many tired excuses and eye-roll-inducing pressers just to arrive at what anyone with functioning vision could see by day 3 of camp. And now? But here's the part that really gets spicy. If Shedeur starts this season, and if he plays even decently, the entire regime gets to do a victory lap. They'll puff out their chests and say, we saw the potential. We believed. And if he fails? Oh, it was just a 5th round experiment. Low risk, high reward. Nothing to see here. It's the NFL's favorite shell game. Pretend you're smart either way.
stories started coming out that he sandbagged certain interviews or was brash. The intel I was getting on Sanders was shocking. He had no self-awareness. So why did he drop? Am I surprised? Shocked, actually. I would have taken him if I was the Steelers. And this executive said to me, if he doesn't go in the first 6 to 8 picks at the top of the second round, then people view him as a backup. And I'll quote it here, I'm not sure how many teams want that circus in the building as a backup. Nobody wants a select.
But Browns fans, they're not buying it. They know what they've seen. They've seen the ghosts of quarterback busts past. They've seen talent wasted and decisions that aged worse than a gas station sandwich. And now they see something different. So the pressure's on, not just for Shedeur, but for the organization. Because if you sit this kid while the other quarterbacks are out here throwing bounce passes and screen picks, you're not just losing games, you're losing credibility. Fast. Let's not forget the Browns drafted 2 quarterbacks, which means they knew they had a problem. You don't stock up on signal callers unless you're trying to fix something. And if Shedeur is outperforming everyone in camp, what's the logic in keeping him on ice? Let me guess. He needs to learn the playbook. Right. Because the best way to learn how to swim is by sitting on the dock, right? The truth is, reps matter. Real reps. Live bullets. And if the guy is ready, and all signs point to yes, then what exactly are you waiting for? Divine intervention? A burning bush that throws spirals? This isn't complicated. The NFL is about production, not politics, not narratives, not playing it safe while your season sinks like a stone. And if you have a guy who can play, you let him play. Shedeur didn't come here to hold a clipboard. He didn't grind through the firestorm of media noise and skeptical scouts just to be a mascot. He came to compete, and right now, he's winning.
If I'm the Cleveland Browns, if you're looking at the coverage of Shedeur Sanders and the way all of this is kind of being properly placed on the table, you about to get served if you don't see this coming. Just name him the starter today. Name him the starter and let him do what he's going to do. For good, for bad, or worse. Whatever.
So if the Browns are smart, they'll stop trying to control the story and start living in reality. The fans already are. The players already are. Heck, even the beat writers are starting to admit what they saw. You can't bench momentum. You can't sideline chemistry. And you sure as hell can't outcoach raw, undeniable talent. So here we are. The Browns coach finally said it. Not in so many words, maybe, but in tone, in body language, in the sudden, frantic reshuffling of practice reps, in the coincidental increase in media praise. They know. We know. Now it's just a matter of whether they'll do something about it before they end up explaining, once again, why this season slipped through their fingers. Shedeur's not waiting around. The NFL isn't either. Time to move. Before the league figures out, the Browns still don't know what to do with a good thing when they've got it. Because if they don't let this kid play soon, someone else will. And the Browns will be right back where they always are, wondering how they managed to fumble the bag while holding it with both hands. This isn't a fluke. It's a warning shot. You've been notified.